Today, on this episode, I want to tell you why you should stop asking why. And I know how much we love, if you're visionary like myself, asking why. Why is this not working the way I want it to be, or why is it working this way? But I'm an obsessed questioner. I've done the 4 tendencies test from Gretchen Rubin, and I'm a deep, ingrained questioner. I question everything. That's my natural tendency. You can ask my parents. Since I was a child, I was always asking why. So why would I ask you not to ask why? And let's be clear. I don't want to say in all contexts, but I will be very specific on when you should not be asking why. When things don't work out the way you wanted them to work out, it is natural if you're wanting and you strive for perfection, and I'm sure that if you're listening this, you have this desire to always do better. You want to ask, why didn't it work the way I wanted it to work out? Or even like, why it didn't work out better than I planned. So the desire here is to understand. There's this thirst for knowledge to see and understand the intricacies of every movement. It's the scientist part of our brain that wants to see the causalities. And that's actually the problem. Obsessing about causality. What created this situation? Why? What is it? Something I did? Is it something they did? We want to understand the link of consequences. But I will tell you the problem with this. It's not outcome-centered. But it is cause-centered. We're trying to understand the source, and I believe it is crucial, it's vital. But I have obsessed for too long about causality, understanding the roots of problems, instead of focusing on, and I'll tell you, okay? Spoiler alert, I'm giving you the answer. What you should do instead? Ask how. I'll show you how this works. Instead of saying, why didn't it work? Ask, how could I make it work? And I'll show you, and I want to explain how is this very fundamentally different. When you're asking why it didn't work, you're looking backward. You're looking at the past. You're looking at the following sequence of events that led to the situation you've witnessed, which is already in the past, and the cause and the events are even further in the past. So as much as I think there are a lot of insights to gain from this, and it is a process necessary into answering the how, but it's not the final answer we're looking for. The reality is, even when we're asking why didn't it work out, the reality is in ourselves, we're wondering, how could I make it work? But we obsess about why. We obsess about understanding why didn't it work out. We want to understand. Again, I think I said these words too many times already. This desire to understand that gets in the way to solving the problem. See, I'll give you an example. If you say, how can I make it work? Maybe there's a way to make it work that doesn't even require you to understand how. Why didn't it work? Do you see what I mean? Maybe you find an alternative track where you find a way to get to the desired outcome without understanding why didn't it work out this time. You might find an alternative solution. You say, example, you're on a sales call and you're asking, why didn't they buy? Amazing question. You might find out and understand key insight that might serve you in the next sales call. But what if you asked instead, how could I make the next person buy? Maybe you realize that the person you spoke to was not a qualified prospect to speak to, and that it's not about what techniques you could find, but selecting the person better. Does it make sense? It is the fact itself of asking how takes your whole cognitive process from understanding the causalities into being focused on the outcome. You're obsessing about the solution now. When you're asking yourself how, you're putting your whole resources into finding a solution. Make sense? Obviously, there's a chance that while finding the solution, looking for the solution, you might have to ask yourself why it didn't work, but you're not staying there. If you feel like you have enough information, you're good to go, you move on, and you do this. I really want to point to that when you ask yourself, how can I make it work, instead of why didn't it work, you're thinking for the future. And my experience showed me that when I'm thinking of how can I make a difference in the future instead of why didn't it work in the past, I'm much more likely, because that's what I focus on, to have it working in the future. Cool, that's a short and sweet video. I don't want to drag on. I feel like I've already repeated it enough. I know it's by repeating that we hammer things down, but now don't overthink this. Notice yourself the next time something doesn't work out the way you want it to. When you want to ask why and you want to find the reasons it didn't work, observe yourself and switch instantly. Go from why isn't it working to how can I make it work, and send me, and just to make you accountable, I want you to send me an example of how it was applied for you and how it helped you find a solution. Cool? Because that's how it's gonna work for you. I'm sharing these videos and then these insights because they've made an impact on me. And I know that if you're going to share this with me, there's a much bigger chance that you will pay attention when the next time you say why, and you will shift that into how. Cool? I'm looking forward to hearing how this will impact you. So send me a message, however you want to reach out to me, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, email directly. Please share that so that I can maybe share that with somebody else and it will inspire them to shift their perspective. And in the meantime, visionary leaders, keep on impacting the world. We need you. So stay bright in your visions and changing the world. Thank you and keep shining. Bye-bye.